All right, so like I said, we're gonna do number 14 is x equals 3. And then after that, what of the proofs did y'all have trouble with? Do we need to look, which ones do you know you want to look at? 8. You mean 10. All right, 10. Oh yeah, 10 has got some stuff from last chapter going on and stuff from this chapter going on, so we gotta put stuff together. Like I've said multiple times, the old stuff doesn't go away. You need you need segment addition all the way to the last thing we ever learn. It all stays. So number 10. We've got a couple of triangles that look like a sideways bow tie. And a marker that's running out of juice. Oh, so close. And it labels a few things about this triangle. It labels that these are congruent. It also labels that they are parallel. That should give you hints about where we're going, right? So MSPQR, MSPQR. And I don't know why I shoved this in the middle of the board, but it's fine. We'll make it work. We are given that, probably just what I wrote, imagine. Let's see. MS, segment MS, is congruent to segment RQ. Yeah, so that's so far just what we've already written down. And we are given that MS is parallel. Segment MS is parallel to segment RQ. All right, and we are expected to prove that the triangles are congruent. So prove triangle MJP, MSP. What? Where's the S? Is that supposed to be an S? It is an S. I just wrote it very strange. There we go. MSP is congruent to triangle RQP. MSP is congruent to triangle RSP. All right. So, what could we do?
You need RQ.
I don't know. I mean, whatever I'm supposed to write. Yeah, that is what I mean. Triangle RS. So this is like one that's not defined. Not here. That one. No. RQP, yes, is what I meant. Okay. So now, what could we do?
They share an angle with point P being vertical.
They don't share an angle, but they have a congruent angle.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I know. I knew what you meant. So yeah, we could say that. So what would we say? And you already gave the justification. The justification is vertical angles. So I'll put that on there. Vertical angles. And what can we say because vertical angles?
Angle QPR and is congruent to angle SPM.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Angle QPR is congruent to angle SPM because vertical angles, absolutely. So what we just said, we label as we go because it makes our life easier if we see what's happening. All right, so there we go.
Also, is it angle S is congruent to angle Q because of alternate interior?
That's true. We could say the same thing about M and R. We may as well say them both. We're not going to need them both. We may as well, right? Then later we would, if we were doing this for some actual reason, instead of just math class, we would clean it up and only use one or whatever, but angle Q, and then also angle M is congruent to angle R, and you are correct that it's alternate interior angles. Absolutely. Well, these lines are parallel, right? And sometimes it's useful if when you're doing your sketches of things, if you have parallel lines, if you kind of take them and dot out those parallel lines, it's easier to see what's happening. So we got this line that's parallel to that line, and then say this segment here, SQ. Now see you can see clearly that it's a transversal that's going through these parallel lines. So it's alternate interior. You can do the same thing with MR, right? That would be the transversal, and it would still be alternate interior. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Well, I'm not done with this one.
Oh yeah, I forgot about it.
Because right now I have that this is congruent to this, and we went ahead and threw in for good measure that this is congruent to that. We didn't need them both, but we went ahead and threw it in there because we may as well. Same step. We can say angle, angle, side, or because we said them both, angle, side, angle. Either one of those would work, actually. If we'd only said one, then it would only be able to be angle, angle, side. But since we said them both, we actually could put either one, and it would be accurate.
I got to step 3 and then I confused myself after that, and then I was like, and there was only the last step which was saying it, and I just confused myself. I was like, what?
But it makes sense.
Yeah, because I thought it said prove M, S, and Q are congruent.
Well, so if it had said that, well, yeah, we were given that. But if it had said, let's say what you had actually thought was that it said QP and SP, then we would still do the same step, and then we do one more line after that saying that was true because CP, CTC, right? So, but yeah, it won't ever ask you to prove the given because that would be silly.
Wait, maybe I'm thinking about 14.
All right, what else do we need to look at in this lesson?
Helen says
16, Helen said, and Jacob was reminding us. 16C specifically.
Yes.
Okay, we got Sydney, the trusses of the roof appear to have several different pairs of congruent angles, trusses appear. So we probably need A and B to get to C. So let's see. If AB intersect, let me put this up on the television so I can like point and grunt and all the things so that it's more useful than me just saying words out loud and y'all being like, oh, okay, my eyes are glazed over and I don't know what we're doing.
It took me 5 years just to try to draw the shape on the paper.
Well, I'm glad that you attempted it. That was probably useful. Even though it caused you to like give up on life after you got done with all of that.
I didn't even realize that's a triangle, but
I didn't know if 14 was supposed to be a proof or not. I just ended up writing out.
14, all it says is to find the variable.
Oh, well, I did that.
Well, good.
Solved it out. And proved it.
Nice. I don't know what you proved.
Well, I proved
What were you proving?
I proved
you
what they already
proved
said.
that his answer was correct.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay.
Check myself. I could-
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Check yourself using a proof. That doesn't make much sense.
I don't know. I used the algebras.
I use the algebras. Okay, kids. Let's take a look at this triangle. So we're going to kind of do all of them because, like I say, you probably need these two to get to this one probably. So if AB bisects CBD, so AB is that one. It bisects CBD, so that angle, so this and this are congruent, right? Prove that those triangles are congruent. Oh, maybe we don't actually need that. So let's assume we don't actually need A and B. Do we need A and B? Who knows? Let's find out. Let's see if we don't actually need A and B. If segment HB is congruent to segment EB, so these long dudes. Okay, so let's just start writing a proof. Write the given. Erase stuff and write stuff. All right. We're given a whole bunch of stuff. All right. Statements, justifications. Great. Given. And we are given that HB is congruent to EB. So this is congruent to that. And angle BHG is congruent to angle BEA, not the DEA, but the BEA. Angle BHG, BHG, so this little guy is congruent to this little guy, probably, right? BEA, yeah, that's right. Okay, and we're also given that angle HGJ is congruent to angle EAD. HGJ, so this one is congruent to EAD, which is going to be that one. Great. And finally, lots of givens. Angle JGB is congruent to angle DAB. The front of a TV is glass.
I know. I guess I've just never seen somebody draw on a TV before, and it just caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Okay.
JGB. What? Wait.
Yeah, it's confusing to look at.
Oh, there's a lot. There must be a little triangle here. Great. It's congruent to triangle DAB. So this one. Great. Okay, we got all kinds of things happening. We want to prove that triangle BHG, so this one, heaven help us. Okay. So this big one here is congruent to this big one there. Great. All right, now what?
HGJ plus, well, we
Yeah.
can say HGB is congruent to BAE through
We can't.
angle addition.
You were right to begin with.
Add them together.
Yeah,
Say they're
yeah. And then you got to do substitution,
congruent.
and which would give them. Yeah, you were right to begin with. So we can say that HGJ plus JGB equals HGB, and the same thing on the other side, right? So angle HGJ plus angle JGB equals the big one, right? Angle HGB because of segment addition. No, lies. What am I supposed to write? Angle addition, right? Angle addition And we can do the same thing on the other side, right? So angle EAD plus angle DAB.
Wait, what does 2 stand for on the justification?
Angle addition.
Oh, I thought that was an L. I was like, what?
Makes sense, but then also doesn't.
I was like,
Really, this should all say measures, right? Measures. The measure of angle EAB. Great.
Was that EAB?
Yeah, because it's this big one. Yeah, this little one plus this little one equals this big one right there, right? Okay, great. Now what?
Let me prove this.
EAD plus DAB equals HGB, and then EAB equals.
Can't say that yet.
You can't say
No, and I'm going to show you why. Let me show you why we can't say that yet. So you're just saying to go straight from this. This is equal to that, right? We can't do that because these two are not the same yet.
Yeah,
We can make them the same because why?
because 30.
Because some of these pieces we can substitute stuff to make them the same, right? But it's not the same yet. This doesn't match yet. That's probably the next step, right? So we can substitute from up here all this junk that we know is equal, right? So we can put EAD right here and then see that matches. And then we could put, do we have a DAB? What is that? Did I write that down wrong?
That's supposed to be DAB.
Yes, it is. That's supposed to be DAB. Yep. Okay, so we can put DAB in for here because they're congruent. So we can basically turn this into this, right? Because we can substitute. Make sense? Any confusion there? Okay, so we're going to write this, but with this one, right? So the measure of angle EAD plus the measure of angle DAB equals the measure of angle HGB. Because why? I've said it 3 times, but why? Substitution. Okay, so now we can say what you wanted, right? Because now they are the same. Now they do match, right? So EAB is equal to HGB.
But we don't need to say that HGJ plus JGB equals EAB.
Stop, slow down, back up. Say it again without the mumbles.
Do we need to say that HGJ plus JGB is congruent to EAB, or is it just not?
No, we don't need it because we already have
I like
these that match. And so these, we can just say those are the same.
Oh,
my eyesight is failing.
You may need to scoot closer. There's a seat there and there. Or you could sit at the floor. Sit at the master's feet. Okay.
Did not sound right. But whatever.
I think you're being weird, but it's fine. Measure of angle EAB equals the measure of angle HGB. Because why? Arguably transitive, actually, but I would have accepted substitution on this line.
how is it transitive? I just think that.
Because this equals that and this equals that, so this equals that.
Oh, okay. That wasn't following.
The difference is these we substituted in this expression. The other one is just A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C, right? I would have accepted substitution on that line, absolutely. I would have counted 0 points off on a test. But it is technically transitive property. Okay, great. So we just said that this, we just upgraded to this equals this. We upgraded to the big angle. Kind of. We're missing one thing, right? We said their measures are equal. We need to say what?
The triangles.
No, stop, go back. We need to say that this is congruent to this. Angle EAB is congruent to angle HGB. Because why? Definition of congruent angles, absolutely.
Do we need to say that since they started out with the angles being congruent, not the measures being equal?
Technically, we would have needed another step in here as well to do the substitution. But these kind of steps, especially in the middle of a problem like this, are ones that I wouldn't count off if you skip them. So technically, I'm missing a step up here. We should have done this again up there. But anyway, congruent angles. Great. So now we got those angles are congruent. Now we can say the triangles are congruent, right?
Yeah, because of H.
Angle side.
Right, J.
Yeah. So now we can say that triangle BHG is congruent to triangle BEA because of angle side. Done. Makes sense? Any questions about this proof?
Why is it so hard?
It's not that hard. It's just a little harder than the other ones in this lesson, or this unit, I should say. It's because it's got a substitution step. Look at that, Helen. Look at that. Who'd have thunk it?
Anybody draw on a TV and
I know, just threw you off.
it just blew my brain.
It did. I have tested that like in the tiny corner of this TV to make sure that I've done that many times now, and so I knew it was going to be fine. But don't just go right on your TV and assume it's going to be fine, because depending on what kind of plastic or whatever glass is on the front, it could stain. So test in a little corner to make sure it's safe. And if it's safe, then whatever. But and also don't leave it very long, because you don't want to use spray chemicals to get it off on the TV, because electronics. So, do what I say, not what I do, maybe. Except in this case, I actually did well. All right, what other questions do we have on this lesson?
I had number 18 question. I was reading the word congruent, but I got to what I thought was step 5, but
So you want to look at 18. Is that the moral of this story?
This is the one that I was confused on. I thought that 10 was it, and that's not what I was thinking about. It was number 18. They're wanting us to prove it.
Ow. All right. Let's see. Number 18, he says. Let's do it. '18's easy, but it's fine. We'll do it. Easy for you too. Just wait. We'll get you there. I was bragging on you yesterday evening. I was. It was happening.
To who?
To your brother.
Oh. What about?
I said that you were rocking it this year in geometry. And he was like, yeah, I thought I saw ChatGPT open. I told him, well, even if he was using it, he's definitely getting it in class. So even if that's the tool he's using to get there, which is probably not, and you're being funny, but even if it was, that's fine. It's working, whatever it is. You what? No, ChatGPT is free. There is a a paid thing, but no. think you'd be more likely to be using photo math. That's the rage these days, isn't it, Natalie?
What? Oh. I don't know what's using
Photo math is a good tool. I don't disagree.
I don't.
If it recognizes the problem, I remember trying to use it on some homework.
I do not understand people who generate essays using AI and then turn it in because it sounds terrible.
I can truthfully say I haven't used photomath.
Photo math is very useful for like if you're stuck because it actually walks you through all the steps. So
It does.
it's a great tool.
It walks you through some of the steps, but to see all the steps, it makes you get the pro version.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean any tool can be useful if you don't abuse it. I mean that's great. I don't have any problem using a tool. You can go look up all the answers for all I care. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Just learn the stuff. Where's my?
With this one, we know that angle.
Yeah, but if you're just getting names and you're copying it down.
That's useless. I agree. That's not going to help you. I 100% agree with that. That's dumb. Don't do that. Same thing with the notes. Don't just sit there and write the notes. Make sure your brain is on.
No way, you actually agreed with something I said.
Helen, that happens all the time. When you're not trying to pretend like you're edgy, I agree with a lot of things you say.
Why do I pretend like
We are given that angle F is congruent to angle J, like every day. Angle F is congruent to angle J.
What if I am just edgy though?
You're not. And we're also told that segment FH is parallel to segment GJ, which is all things that are labeled on the thing. We're proving that FH is congruent to JG.
I get murdered by my parents.
I've met your parents. It's unlikely. I mean, your mom
Well,
maybe,
like
but
not actually murdered, but like
Because it wouldn't be murder.
One time I put on like a really edgy outfit and my dad like yelled at me. He was
well, you probably deserved it. Okay.
like, you should see it though. I looked amazing.
You probably looked silly. Okay.
Stop bullying me.
No, I refuse. What should we do?
I did the angle of HGJ and the angle FHG are congruent because of alternate inferior angle theorem.
That sounds great. That sounds totally fine. Let's do it. All right, so angle FGH FGH
Why are you giving me the side eye? I'm just saying.
is congruent to, what'd you say?
And HGJ. Somewhere.
FGH is congruent to JH.
Why do you put a segment line?
G.
above HG?
Okay, I don't think that's what you, I don't know. But I also don't think that that's what you meant. Because what you, let him figure out what he meant. Because you just said that this is congruent to that, and that's clearly false.
FHG.
Yeah, is that what you were going to say? FHG. That's still not what you meant.
FHG is congruent to HG.
It's because you said this is congruent to that, which is same side interior.
No, HGJ.
He's saying two different angles. You have.
I'm not saying
FGH,
FG.
he said-
You said FGH is congruent to something else.
FHG is congruent to HGJ is what I have written down.
Okay, so I'm going to put that this one that I wrote is congruent to JHG. Is that fair? Is that fair to everybody? Okay. I don't know what you're spouting with your side-eye nonsense, but this is what I'm going to write. Because alternate interior angles. Theorem, if you want to be more precise. Great.
You were.
Now what?
I did the triangle.
HG and GH are
You did the triangle.
reflexive.
I agree. This is congruent to itself because reflexive.
And then you can do
GH is congruent to HG because reflexive property. And then we can do what Jacob's mumbling about and prove that the triangles are congruent. I agree. Excuse me. Triangle HGF is congruent to triangle GJ because Y angle side. Same reason you be weird, because he thinks it's fun. What now? We have one more step, which apparently is the one that you forgot how to do, right? Is this where you got stuck? True facts. FH is congruent to GJ because congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent. CPCTC. Make sense? Easy money?
It sounds circular though.
What?
No, it doesn't.
See, what?
You have to prove the triangles are congruent, and then because the triangles are congruent, you can say their parts are congruent.
What in the world was the last one?
Congruent parts are congruent, triangles are congruent.
I put
CPCTC.
my reason for saying FH is congruent to JG last night when I did it was definition of congruent triangles,
No.
but that's not it.
What does REF mean?
Could we do 20?
Reflexive.
20.
We probably can do 20. Oh, don't I have some things to get back to y'all? Let me look real quick before I do 20. At least some of y'all. I think I've got some, like, corrections and stuff. Alexa, that's not you. Taylor, that's not you. Helene, that's you. She didn't respond. That was gonna be fun, but she didn't even know. She just said, huh?
Oh, but,
Maybe she secretly wishes her name was Helene.
I don't know. I think my name is kind of boring. I mean, it's not as it could be. Well, I mean, it's not as bad as it could be. At least I'm not named like Denise or something.
If you're gonna go all in, you gotta like choose like somebody in the room is like, oh my gosh, my name isn't Natalie. Then you get some clouds because you just said Denise. Like, who's named Denise anyway? Who even has that name?
I wouldn't want to
Exactly, which is why it's such a bad name. Because nobody has it.
Yeah. So see, this is what I'm talking about. You're not edgy. You just pretend to be edgy.
I wouldn't want to fight Natalie though.
If you were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my name's not Gracie, then that would be edgy because she's sitting right here. See? But you said Denise. I've never met a Denise that's y'all's age ever. Ever. They probably exist, but I've never met them.
I think it's a bad name. I'm just saying that I would.
Denise is not a bad name. Denise is a just fine name. It's a great name. Nothing wrong with Denise.
No, it's
Huge time my growing thing very interesting. Jessie Mondine Cannon was her full name, and then she married a guy who's like 18.
My wife's grandmother's name was Lois. You don't hear that name anymore. Or anymore either. And
I like that name.
my grandmother-in-law's name is Glenda. You don't hear that name anymore either.
I think that's a good name.
Well, I didn't say any of them are bad names. I'm just saying you just don't hear them anymore. I don't know why you're picking on Denise's. Every time I hear the word Denise, though, I do think about the Key and Peele sketch where he's saying, D-Nice! Do we have a D-Nice in here? If you've never seen, I don't think there's any profanity in that particular Key and Peele sketch. If there is, and you go watch it, sorry, but I think that one's fairly clean. I think that one's clean.
Yeah.
Luckily, you didn't do terribly or whatever.
Yeah, but that's a very funny.
Test corrections to Helen.
Okay,
Where do you put the updated grade?
what are you talking about,
So you
loser?
do test corrections and it averages.
Okay,
out.
listen, Linda. I put it. This is what I've been doing for 500 years. So listen this time. The test grade goes there. The test corrections go in as 100. There's nothing that changes. They average because math. There's nothing that changes on the test. On the quizzes, I manually change it because of how we turn in the quizzes. But and I usually notate that I did change it. But on the tests, it doesn't change. Your test average does because math. But I don't manually change anything.
Test averages.
In Google Classroom. Look around buttons and you'll find it. You got this. It's in there. I found it on Josiah's just the other day. So if I can find it, you can find it. No problem. You got this. Yeah, you can find it and you can be like, oh, look, I'm failing. Great.
I don't think I've gotten that feeling very.
Nice. Okay. Any other questions for this lesson?
I identify as a failure.
She said 20.
I don't care what she said unless she tells me.
20.
Okay. Numero 20. All right. We got another bow tie.
You're being very strange today.
Maybe he's in a good mood.
So,
Or maybe you're just being crazy. Or maybe both. What do y'all think? Probably both?
I was just sitting here doing math and he keeps like giving me the side eye.
Because he thinks it's funny. I already explained this. If you had listened to me, you'd know more things, Helen. It's true. Yeah, exactly. I'm not all-knowing or particularly smart, but I'm not stupid either.
We'll say.
If you say so. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Helen, that was rude. Only sometimes. Like people say, I'm only rude when I'm by myself or with somebody.
That didn't land well.
And Reese thought it was funny. It just flew over everybody else's head. Jacob thought it was funny, but he's being very demure and cutesy today, so he didn't laugh out loud.
Very weird.
Yeah, very dimmer.
I can't believe you don't know who David Muir is.
Why would I want to know that?
Yeah, he wouldn't want to know that.
Why?
Because David Muir, not important.
Wow, are you making fun of David? You don't make fun of David.
It's not fun to be not important.
Jacob would know. No, I'm just kidding. We've started joking in my Algebra 2 class, and
Believe it or not, they're
if you go watch my Algebra 2 video, or you don't even have to watch it, but look at the comment section on my Algebra 2 videos, Nathan John keeps posting, we keep saying we should put like clickbait titles like, teacher demoralizes student, lives to regret it, and all stuff like that. So, we're just maybe joining in on that party in geometry.
Believe it or not.
Teacher bullied by student, cries.
Believe it or not.
Helen becomes a viral sensation.
Well, that's not hard to believe.
Helen proves that she's all bite and no bark.
Other way?
Look,
No,
Believe
that
it
was
or
that was
not.
the joke.
I know you are not going
That
to
was the
believe
joke.
this, but there are actually times in my life where I have actually succeeded at being edgy. Maybe not right now.
Like not wearing your seatbelt on the way here or what?
I am good at pour water.
That was good, Jacob. That was great timing. That was very, very good.
Y'all are so mean.
You've got to admit that was good. That was like
Okay,
slam dunk.
It was really good. It was good, but it was
Student thrashes other student. First student cries.
Gets thrown.
not crying.
No, I said first student. The student that did the thrashing cried. It was so amazing. They cried. Okay, so we're probably supposed to prove some sort of triangles are congruent, right? Oh no, just kidding. QT is congruent to WU. Supposed to prove that QT, you are a QT pi, is congruent to something else. WU. Anyway, so we're supposed to prove that that guy is congruent to this guy. Great. On this particular problem, there's like 5 different ways to get there. So
Vertical angle.
I could only find one.
only one way to get there.
It took me forever to figure out how to find it.
Because you could go by the big triangles or the little triangles or something else.
I had to go from the big triangles to the little triangles.
That's what I was thinking about doing.
You might have to do that. Let's just see what we can, is there anything we can pull out like
Vertical angles.
vertical angles? Great, let's do that. So these are the so this is the bit we're interested in. This one and this one, right? That's what we're going in. So let's do these vertical angles. So that is congruent to that, right? So QRT, angle QRT. QRT is congruent to angle WRU. RU because vertical angles. Okay, great. So we've got side angle so far. Great.
Can we say W and Q are congruent as alternate? And
We don't know the lines are parallel. They look parallel, but there's nothing in the given that says they are,
Is there
right?
a way that we know of, but so far, that we can bisect your T?
Okay. Wait, go back. What are you saying?
Is there a way to like prove that T is the bisector to B and SW?
Nothing that tells us right now. How what?
How does it tell us the bisector?
There's nothing that tells us right now. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing that tells us that.
Well, can we prove it?
Not really. We have to prove that they were the same length, which we cannot do. Well, we could say that R is the midpoint of QW. We could say that. I don't know why we would say that, but we could say it. Because of the converse of definition of bisector or something like that. Right? Or midpoint, I mean. What else could we say?
Can we say that QRV is congruent to SLW through vertical angles?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to add like all the vertical angles in one. Let's go for it. Let's do it. Okay. So let's also do these. That way we have them in the proof if we decide we need them we can get them, right? So we can say that VRT is congruent to SRU, vertical angles, and then the big ones, which is what Reese was just saying, are also congruent because of vertical angles. So angle VRT is congruent to angle SRU, and the big ones, which is what Reese was just talking about, so this one is congruent to that one, also because of vertical angles.
Then we have side angle sine.
Yeah.
We do, for the big triangles, that's true. So angle QRV is congruent to angle SRW because vertical angles, great. And then sure, why not? We can go ahead and say that triangle QRV, so the big triangle over there, QRV is congruent to triangle SRW because of side angle side.
We could say angle Q is congruent to angle W through CPCTC.
Which one?
Q is congruent to that.
Because of CPCTC, that's true. We could, yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna switch up my graphical notation. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Angle Q is congruent to angle W. We're getting a little bit crazy with our thing, so I'm gonna use this notation to mark these, just so it's different. I don't have to draw a whole bunch of little loop-de-loops. Y'all follow what I'm saying? Okay.
It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 1.
What? Well, yeah, but then I also marked it differently and used the tick marks as well.
Say they're congruent now? Q, T.
Yeah, now we can say that QRT is
How do we say
say WR.
Because of angle, side angle.
And then we can say it through CPCTC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just some definitions.
So triangle QRT is congruent to triangle WRU because of angle, side angle. And then yes, we could say that segment QT is congruent to segment WU because of CPCTC. Congruent parts and congruent triangles are congruent. Absolutely true. Because I stuttered when I wrote, I guess. I don't know.
What's in the jar?
It's an egg.
Vinegar?
Yeah.
Biology?
Yeah.
So sweet and precious. Okay, y'all should leave. No quiz. I know you're broken up about it.